Hi, my name is Isabel, and I'm so glad to be back with you guys again going through John. Today we're going to pick up in John 11, and for the sake of most of this video not being reading, we're only going to do the introduction and the climax of the story. Later on in the video, I'm going to touch on a few points in the middle, but I encourage you to read all of it on your own because it is such a great story. We're going to start in verses 1 through 7, and then we're going to jump ahead and then go through verses 38 through 44. Please read with me. Now a man was sick, Lazarus, from Bethany, the village of Mary and her sister Martha. Mary was the one who anointed the Lord with perfume and wiped his feet with her hair. And it was her brother Lazarus who was sick. So the sisters sent a message to him, "Lord, the one you love is sick." When Jesus heard it, he said, "This sickness will not end in death, but it is for the glory of God, so that the Son of God may be glorified through it." Now Jesus loved Martha, her sister, and Lazarus. So when he heard that he was sick, he stayed 2 more days in the place where he was. Then after that, he said to the disciples, "Let's go to Judea again." Verse 38. Then Jesus, deeply moved again, came to the tomb. It was a cave, and a stone was lying against it. "Remove the stone," Jesus said. Martha, the dead man's sister, told him, "Lord, there's already a stench because he has been dead for 4 days." Jesus said to her, "Didn't I tell you that if you believed, you would see the glory of God?" So they removed the stone. Then Jesus raised his eyes and said, "Father, I thank you that you heard me. I know that you always hear me. But because of the crowd standing here, I said this, so that they may believe that you sent me." After he said this, he shouted with a loud voice, "Lazarus, come out." The dead man came out, bound hand and foot with linen strips, and his face wrapped in a cloth. Jesus said to them, "Unwrap him and let him go." This is a pretty crazy story, and it perfectly encapsulates the great power of Jesus. If he can raise somebody in the dead, imagine the amount of things that he can do in our lives. This story proves that he is completely worthy of our trust and of our faith. Sometimes we have an issue with completely trusting Jesus. We worry and we get anxious. I know I'm a worrier. If I get a grease stain on one of my good shirts, I will lay in my bed and I will cry. And I will ask myself questions like, will I ever get the stains out of this shirt? Will I ever get to wear it again? Do I even have enough shirts now because I have a small wardrobe? But like I said, I'm just such a worrier that all of these questions will consume my thoughts. Sometimes whenever we let this happen to ourselves, we can start to doubt God and doubt that he's going to provide for us. Even Mary and Martha doubted Jesus at this point. We can see in verses 21, 32, and 37 where all these different people start to doubt Jesus or get frustrated with him for him not responding as soon as they wanted to. 21. Then Martha said to Jesus, "Lord, if you had been there, my brother wouldn't have died." Verse 32. As soon as Mary came to where Jesus was and saw him, she fell at his feet and told him, "Lord, if you had been there, my brother would not have died." In verse 37, but some of them said, "Couldn't he who opened the blind man's eyes also have kept this man from dying?" Sometimes we just get upset with God's timing. It doesn't happen right whenever we want him to. They didn't want to have to suffer the pain and the grief of having a loved one lost. But it's all a part of God's divine plan. The timing is everything, and God knows that. And we have to learn to trust his timing. What if he would have actually healed him while he was sick? We see people get healed from sickness all the time just by doctors and medicine. So that wouldn't be very out of the ordinary. It would be a little out of the ordinary, but not as much as raising somebody to life. Now that takes real faith and real power. Sometimes God asks us to wait. He tells us that our prayers will be answered at a later time. And a lot of times we don't like that answer. But we have to take an example from this story. We have to wait for when God's power is going to be used to the best of its abilities. You might even ask why people aren't raised from the dead today. Well, what if I told you that people are saved from death every day? He saves you from death by forming a relationship with him. And if you want to learn more about how all of that works, go to the description of this video and click on the link. It will take you to the plan of salvation that will explain it perfectly. Well, I'm all finished, and thank you guys for tuning in again today. I encourage you to subscribe and keep coming to watch more videos and more devotions with us. And I hope that you have a great rest of your day. God bless you.